Well, Ballyfermot locals are holding a solidarity vigil this week after their local church received a lot of negativity on Facebook for flying a pride flag on their grounds. The Ballyfermot Assumption Parish flew the pride flag and an Irish flag on their grounds last week as an effort to show that all are welcome in its church. Now let's just have a look and listen to some of the comments that were posted below the photograph. Okay, so the church, it's the Ballyfermot Assumption Parish. By the way, if you're from Ballyfermot, we'd love to hear from you in this. We'd love to hear what locals think about this. So send us a WhatsApp, 085 825 2626. 085 825 2626. Because by all accounts, the majority of people in Ballyfermot do not have a problem with this. And I want to make that very clear. But the church posted the photograph of the pride flag on their grounds the other day. And here are just some of the comments that were posted. Very sad to see comments like this. The first comment: real Christianity must always condemn this sin of practicing homosexuality and not the sinner. However, flying the gay flag endorses the sin, said someone called Liam. Here's a positive one from Derek. I never thought I would see the flag flying over the Assumption Church. As a religious person and a person who is gay, this is a lovely sight. God loves us all. It's great to have the flag on the church. I love it, says Derek. And then you have the other side. You have Shirley. We are called to follow Jesus. He is the way, the truth, and the life. The parish is not following Christ's teachings. This is not truth. This is not love. This is false teaching and causing huge suffering. The truth will set you free. I don't know who's suffering because of the flag being up on the ground, Shirley. I really don't. That beggars belief. And then another comment. This is beyond horrendous. Going completely against Pope Francis and the Catholic Church teaching, condoning sin. They are just some of the comments that were posted on the Facebook page of that church after them flying the pride flag. And apparently the church was then asked by the Dublin Diocese to take down the flag. They were informed that only flags that are national flags are allowed on the ground. So we want to get your opinions on this. I can't believe that in 2021 such a fuss would be made about a pride flag. No, I suppose it's slightly different in that it's on church grounds. I think the church were absolutely brilliant. You know, they said that they wanted to get across this message that all are welcome in their church, which I think is brilliant, that, you know, a church is actually having the guts to be inclusive and to go against the Vatican and say, you know what I mean, we accept gay people into our church, because gay people do go to mass, you know. But the backlash that they received over this is just, I don't know. I just don't understand where it's coming from. But I'd like to hear from you. Send us a WhatsApp now, 085 825 2626. 085 825 2626 is our WhatsApp number. Do you agree with the church putting it up? Do you think it was right for them to be told to take it down? And as I said, the people of Ballyfermot, by all accounts, they are supportive of this, and they are as disgusted as everyone else is that the flag is being asked to be taken down. I actually don't know, and we tried to make contact with the church earlier. I don't know whether or not the flag is down or not, but if you are in Ballyfermot, if you're driving by the Assumption Parish Church in Ballyfermot, maybe you can let us know if the pride flag is still up there, because it'd be interesting to see whether or not they followed the rules from their leaders to take the flag down. But it's a sad indictment on this country that a pride flag can't be flown in a church without it causing such uproar. And just reading those comments, just it's very, very worrying. Let me go first of all to who's on. Sorry, Kigo is on the line. Good morning, Kigo. How are you?
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. How are you doing?
Happy Tuesday. How do you feel about this?
Well, it's if you look at how the church has treated gay people for millions of years, or however long the world has been in existence, according to them, it's a good thing to do, but it's a little bit too late. The damage they've done. The comments you were reading there, Liam and Shirley were against this, the ones under the picture, and then there's a gay fellow who goes to church and he thinks that's great, and it's really important for people. Like, I'm not religious myself, but I would assume being a gay person and wanting to go to church is, it's a bit like a kick in the genitals. It wouldn't be nice for them. So I think they're trying to do it. But again, you've got to remember that everything in the Bible is anti-gay. which, you know what I mean? If someone is anti-gay like that, it makes you wonder what their Google searches are. But they may be afraid of admitting something to themselves. But anyway.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, the whole thing about the Bible and homosexuality, I've never read the Bible, I've only read bits of it, but I do believe that there's only like about 4 or 5 references to homosexuality actually in the Bible. There's a lot more in it besides that. But, these people are supposed to be Christians, and that's not a very Christian attitude, is it?
But it's what's written down. You know what I mean? You can't. I know putting the flag up is great, and it's important for that Stone Age institution to join us in this 2021. But everything about their ethos is against what that flag represents. So, in order for that flag to stay up, they're going to have to whoever's in charge. I don't know who manages the church, a priest or whatever. They have to go against their boss, which means they're going to lose their job. You know what I mean? So, this is the problem here. The church in and of itself, welcoming gay people is brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think it's great.
But the problem is they can't welcome gay people.
What do you mean?
Because the instances in the Bible, now again, it's 100 years since Sunday school was a babysitting service for my parents. All right, so I can't quote the Bible to you. But the quotes you're going to get from people who are into the Bible, like who was the lady in the message there, Shirley, under the thing, she's quoting stuff from the Bible saying, look, it's a sin and all that sort of stuff. That's the issue there. The Bible says it's a sin, so they can't fly that flag without going against what's written in that lovely little book they have.
Okay,
that no one's read.
Okay. So even though you don't agree with it, you can accept how the church, this particular church, may be hypocritical, because on one hand they're teaching that, and if you are a true Christian, I suppose you don't believe that homosexuality is right, and that's fair enough. Well, it's not fair enough; it's very backward. But if you are a practicing Christian, those are your beliefs. So you think the church were wrong to put up the pride flag?
I think they were right. They were right to put up the flag in the real world, but in the old Jesus world, it's a tricky one, and they won't get away with it, unfortunately.
And what do you make of the comments? And again, one of the comments: the parish is not following Christ's teachings. This is not truth. This is not love. This is false teaching, and it's causing huge suffering. I mean, what does that person mean? What suffering is it causing?
It's not suffering It's not causing any suffering to anyone. It's actually bringing people into the church, which is something people are leaving the church in droves because they see it for what it is. But some people who would like that support and like that kind of guidance, maybe who might be gay, they feel welcomed by seeing that flag up there. It does me no damage. I don't go to church. I think everyone is the same. Do what you want. It's none of my business. The church needs to think that way. But the problem is they can't, based on that little book that they keep going back to. Each religion is the same. There's this problem in every religion. You're always going to be excluding people, whether LGBTQ plus all these people. They're all excluded from religion and all religions. Based on the fact of what has been written in a book from 1,000,000 years old.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why people are very anti-gay, and those are the people who need to look at themselves. You're going to hear people who are delighted the flag is coming down. They're the people who need to look at themselves and to wonder why they're so angry at gay people or any people like that.
I agree with you. It's just not a Christian attitude. Thanks very much for your call, Keogh. Send us a WhatsApp, 085 825 2626. There's the number there, 085 825 2626. If you're just joining us, we're talking about a church in Ballyfermot that caused a bit of anger during the week by erecting a pride flag on their grounds. The church is called the Ballyfermot Assumption Parish. They flew the pride flag, put a photograph of it up on their Facebook page to show how inclusive they were, and they said everybody is welcome. I think it's great, that the church were making these steps. And the Bible bashers came out in full force on Facebook and said things like, the truth will set you free. This is causing huge suffering. Follow Jesus. He is the way, so on and so forth. Real Christian attitudes from these people. Let's have a listen to some of your WhatsApp voice notes. Here is John. He believes there is more to why the church has done this. And sorry, I don't know why that's not working. We'll try and get that fixed in a second. And we'll have a listen to John. 085 825 2626 if you want to get in on this. We want to hear from you. How do you feel about this church? Do you feel that the church was right to do it? Because I want this conversation to be as balanced as possible. So, you know, if you feel the other way, if you agree with some of the comments that were made online, I'd like to hear from you as well. If you believe that those comments are justified in some way. Once again, here are the comments that were made. Real Christianity must always condemn the sin of practicing homosexuality and not the sinner. However, flying the gay flag endorses this sin. I never thought I would see the flag flying over the Assumption. As a religious person and a person who is gay, this is a lovely sight. God loves us all. And then the other one, we are called to follow Jesus. He is the way, he is the truth. Now, as I said, there were lots more comments on the page, which I won't read out because I actually found them quite offensive, and I don't want to share them with you. But if you have a thought on this, send us a WhatsApp now, 085 825 2626. 085 825 2626. I'd love to get you on a bit about this and love to hear your opinions. There is the WhatsApp number again, 085 825 2626. And now let me go to the next line. Neve, how are you?
Hiya, Jeremy. How are you?
Grand. What do you make of this?
I think it's great. I think it's great to see it, but I can see that it's going to cause problems. I mean, you only have to read back over comments since Pride Month started to see how entrenched people are in the religious side of it, and you know, quoting from the Bible, you know, the age-old obvious quote that everyone uses comes up all the time about Adam and Eve. I think it's brilliant. I think the church should be inclusive. There's what somebody does in the bedroom doesn't mean they can't believe in God. And I think that I'm not a particularly religious person, but I believe that it's not necessarily God's word that's dictating this, but people's interpretation of it. You know, they seem to be picking and choosing the bits from the Bible that suit them to, you know, downplay or be very negative about the gay community. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a shame. I think, according to some comments, I don't know if it's true, I think it's been taken down.
Yeah, we're trying to get confirmation now. We believe it has been taken down. If it has, that's quite sad, isn't it?
It's very sad because it comes from a small minority of people making a complaint who are supposed to be, you know, as I said, I'm not religious, but the one bit I do remember from the Bible was, I thought we're not supposed to judge each other. But there's a lot of judgment going on about who people choose to love. And that's what it boils down to. They're no threat. They're not coming in to take over your church. You know, they just want to love the person they love and be included.
That's what I don't understand, is that the church went and did this and said, we wanted to make an effort to show that all are welcome in the church. So they wanted to be inclusive. A lot of people complain about the church not being inclusive. They wanted to be inclusive, and they tried to do something. They tried to build a bridge. They tried to make amends. And then this happens. And now I have to say, looking at the comments online, it was maybe 5-10% maximum that were... And these are the same people that probably voted no in the same-sex marriage referendum.
Vote no to everything, yeah.
Yeah, they just vote no to... And I was looking at their profiles as well, and they were an older generation. And that's not to say that everybody who's an older generation is homophobic, but they were all of an older generation. And they're few and far between.
Yeah, I think people who are in the church probably need some sort of leadership from the church. And that's what they got. They got that from Ballyfermot, but it wasn't good enough. You know, they said, oh no, we don't like that. You're being too radical, you're being too this. We won't allow that. But as I said, again, I'm not religious, but no one owns the church. You know, no one has the right to say, or should have the right to say, who gets to walk through its doors. I mean, a gay person and a straight person, if they're sitting in the church, how on earth do you tell the difference? Because I wouldn't be able to tell a gay person from a straight person in a church.
Yeah,
they're just people who choose to go to church. And the church is always bitching about how its numbers are declining. Well, are we surprised?
Okay, stay there.
You know,
stay there for a second, please, Neve. I'd like to hear from you. 085 825 2626 is our WhatsApp number. There it is on your screen. 085 825 2626. We're talking about the church in Ballyfermot that put up a pride flag the other day and then was told to take it down. Let's have a listen. We have our WhatsApps working now. Let's have a listen to this one from John.
Morning, Jeremy, and I don't know whether Adrian is there. Let's just call a spade here, right? This is nothing to do with the church trying to be nice and the church trying to be good. The church at the end of the day is a business like everything else, and it's been changed its spots over the years to accommodate, not to accommodate people and people's different changes of views and opinions and sexuality. It's about getting people in to get collections, to get some money, to get some donations and keep the business going. One of the biggest businesses in the world is the Catholic Church. So, it's nothing about being, having open-mindedness and anything like that. So don't be kidding yourself on. The church is just trying to kid people on.
Yeah, I don't agree with you, John, I have to say. I think that's a rather cynical view on what the church did here. I firmly believe that this local parish church in Ballyfermot was trying to do the right thing and was trying to be inclusive. They don't need, what percentage of people who enter their church are actually gay and are going to give money because the flag is up? I don't think that's why they did it. I think they did it because they wanted to show that everybody is welcome. Leonard says, fly that flag as high as you want.
Good morning, Jeremy.
Morning,
Leonard here. Fly that flag and fly it as high as possible. Come on, guys. This is 2021. We all know what's going on. Everything is open and people are people. Just get that flag up, keep it going, and live and let live. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks very much for that, Leonard. Padraig, you're on Opinions Matter. Good morning. How are you? Are you there, Padraig?
Yeah, good morning, Jeremy. Sorry about that.
No bother at all. What do you want to say about this? The pride flag outside the church grounds.
I think it's not surprising, Jeremy, but talk about if you give people an inch, they'll take a mile, as the old adage goes,
Why? Who's been given an inch and who's taking a mile?
We've seen from the genesis of these pride marches. They were never going to be happy. They want more and more. At the end of the day, the Catholic Church is against this form of sexuality. We all know that. By the way, Jeremy, a couple of years ago, pre-COVID, my wife was at one of these so-called pride marches in Dublin, and actually it was an absolute disgrace. She had a young niece with her, 7 years of age, and these people were prancing around with genitalia and all sorts of innuendo on their t-shirts and attire. It was an absolute disgrace.
So why did she go to a Padraig then?
She was happened to be caught up. She was passing through.
She was caught up.
She was caught up. Really, is it any wonder these people were banned for years when they're flaunting this debauchery on the streets
here,
of
Padraig, we're not in the 60s anymore. You know what I mean? You're talking about debauchery and stuff like that. This is a simple... When you see the rainbow flag, what does it say to you? Does it annoy you to see the rainbow flag?
I'll tell you what I find even more annoying, Jeremy, is I keep getting constant notifications to my phone and constant advertising on miscellaneous forums about these pride marches and what's going on here.
Well, there's no pride march taken this year, going on this year, which is why they're doing other things. Do you know? I assume you're a Catholic, are you? You're a Christian man?
Well, I am, like most of the country, Jeremy. Yeah.
Well, no, most of the country isn't Catholic anymore. To be honest with you, most.
Well, I did put a caveat in there, Jeremy. We're born Catholics, but people have, for reasons best known to themselves, decided to become atheists.
Okay, do you consider yourself a Christian person?
Obviously, yes.
Yeah, well, that's not a very Christian attitude to say that we shouldn't be all-inclusive then, is it?
Well, look, like I said to you, there's just too much of this in your face now, and actually, it's almost like it's as if it's been normalised.
Hang on, too much of what in your face? What's in your face that's actually annoying you? What are you seeing that's upsetting you so much?
Well, see, they're not content with the situation at the moment. We have all this transgender stuff in our faces now, and the gender neutral and all the rest of it, and the non-binary, and people have just had enough of this. Let's say...
I think you're the only one that's had enough of it. Whatever happened to live and let live?
Well, I think a lot of people are afraid to speak their minds, Jeremy. That's the truth of it,
No, well, we're letting you speak your mind, but if you had walked by this church last week in Ballyfermot and saw that pride flag, you would have been upset. You would have been one of these people who was upset with this flag.
Well, if I knew it was there, I probably would have arranged to have it taken down, Jeremy.
You would have what?
I would have make arrangements if I'd known it was there. I would have made arrangements with other like-minded people to take it down.
So you would have organised a group of people to go along to this church and take the pride flag down. That's how petty you are.
No, it's not actually petty. It's actually trying to protect what we have left of our culture. You know.
What do you mean your culture? What do you think? Gay people are trying to take over the world, or trying to take over Ireland? They don't.
Well, it's not. It's not just. It's a systematic deterioration. Not just the gay situation, but.
But Niamh, how do you talk sense into someone like that, or is it possible to talk sense into somebody like that? You there, Niamh? Sorry, we've actually lost Niamh. Stay there for a second, please, Padraig, because I know a lot of people are going to want to talk to you. Let me play a couple of WhatsApp voice notes. Here is Stephen. He believes that it's the older generation that have an issue with it.
I'm glad you brought this topic up. Some of our buses have the pride colours on them for the support of it, and we seems to be the older generation seems to be having the issues with them. A few of the older generations that we get on off our bus were pretty aggressive about why we did it. Like, it's completely out of my hands. I'm just a driver, as you know. But I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, you know, it's just, I personally, I think it's pretty cool looking, but that's just my output anyway to it. But anyway, but it just seems to be the older generation that seems to be having the problem about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you. I remember when the Gardaí, was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, when they put up a photograph of their fleet of cars done in Pride colours for Pride month, and people went absolutely mad that the Gardaí, God forbid the Gardaí should try and be inclusive. Let me go to Robbie. Robbie, how are you? Your own opinions matter.
How are you doing? That guy on the phone, I was just like, religion is the thing that's holding Ireland and the world back this day and age. As you say, it's about inclusivity.
Yep.
You know, these people they just seem to have everything that's like a Christian goes on about, oh, love this, love that, but they hate these people because you read the fucking Bible and it says about, you know, if you lie with another man, they have to die. But they ignore that part.
Well, Padraig.
Well, like I said to you at a previous juncture, Jeremy, at the risk of repeating myself, I would say to that guy and his ilk that what type of people go around this town and other major cities flaunting genitalia anywhere you want. It's an absolute disgrace.
Sorry, okay, your wife saw a couple of people flaunting genitalia. I don't believe that. Well, I don't know. I to be honest with you, Padraig, I've marched in gay pride marches for many years with my gay friends. Jesus. Yeah, there you go. I know you find that hard to stomach.
That says it all, doesn't it?
What do you mean it says it all? It says that I wanted to march along my.
No. His reaction to when you said that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, I've never seen in any of the gay pride marches I've marched in, I've never seen Padraig genitalia hanging out.
Well, I think you're just being PC here, Jeremy.
No, I tell you, if that was the case, you also think, Robbie, that this is a very unchristian attitude that people like him have.
Well, like I'm myself an atheist, you know, and I don't have a problem with people having faith, but I have a problem with religion as a whole. I think religion, especially Christianity, is actually a religion of hate. If you read the parts of the Bible that they don't talk about, it's a horrible book.
Yeah, there's a lot of negativity in it, all right, and there's a lot of, I mean, it's a book that was written so many years ago that it's probably not even relevant now. Let's stay there, both of you, for a second. Let's have a listen to this WhatsApp voice note from Gary, who's a member of the LGBT community, and says that church is actually his parish church.
So I'm actually a member of the LGBTQ plus community in Ballyfermot, and the Assumption Church is my local parish. I was, I thought, like a lot of people in the community, I thought it was a great move from the Assumption to put the pride flag up. It was very hurtful. I think it was last Sunday when there was a group of non-locals protesting to have the flag removed. And I really think it's protests like that endanger people of the LGBTQ community and really enforce a lot of hate and potential attacks towards those people. I just can't understand why, we can't have acceptance, why we can't, why a church can't show that they, welcome everybody. And everybody else in the community is okay with it. Everybody else in the community is very supportive. It's just this one particular group that seem to, want to kind of stick their oar in where they're not welcomed.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Gary, and I did say that from the start here. That is not the people of Ballyfermot who have an issue with this. In fact, they're holding a solidarity vigil this week in support of the church having the flag. So it's not the people of Ballyfermot. This is a small group of people like you, Padraig, who wants to gather your little group of merry men and get the flag taken down because, oh my God, it's causing you so much hurt and anger. It's really ruining your day to see a rainbow flag hanging out of a church. How does it actually affect your life when you think about it? How does it affect your life?
Well, it affects not so much my life, but my children's life and my grandchildren, but they are influenced by all this, let's call it unnatural sexuality.
Oh, okay, you see, Padraig, that's where I have to leave it. I can't listen to any more of that unnatural sexuality because it's like the show has gone back to the 1950s when you start talking about this. And I would like to think, Padraig, that if one of your grandkids, well, you know what the sad thing about this is, Padraig, is that if one of your grandchildren does turn out to be gay, they will be afraid to confide in you, their grandfather, and tell them because of your attitude. That is very, very sad. I actually feel sorry for you, Padraig, that you have that much hate in you towards a group of people who probably never did anything wrong on you. So I really do feel sorry for you. Here is Paul with a WhatsApp voice note.
It takes many colours to paint a beautiful picture. It takes many people to create a complete world. That's all it's all about. Everybody has a choice. Everybody deserves a right to be included in life.
Yeah, they do, Paul, but unfortunately, some people do not agree with that. Let me go to Mick. Yeah, you're annoyed with what you've been hearing.
Yeah, it's good to hear Porrick the bigot spurting his bile again. Disgusting. And I feel sorry for his family, to be honest. But,
well, as I said, I feel sorry for his grandchildren as well, because if they know how he feels about that particular issue, they're going to be afraid. They're going to be afraid to come out to
exactly.
him. And that's a. I really thought we were past that we would become a more tolerant country. But seeing the comments online this morning about that church, it's just very upsetting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like I say, I'm not a religious guy personally, but I have no issues with the church flying the rainbow flag. At the end of the day, it's the 21st century. The LGBT community has become more accepting, and I feel like Pride Month is a celebration of their community.
And do you think the church were right to put the flag up? Knowing that Ballyfermot would have a fairly older it'd be a fairly older parish as well.
Like I say, the Catholic Church have their own history regarding child sex offences and all that. But yeah, I do believe that they're right to do it. Like, if they feel to be more inclusive, as it is now the 21st century, and it's been more acceptable. Yeah, they have every right to do it. But unfortunately, people have the right to protest as well. But like I say, it's mainly like the older generation and the right-wing nutjobs will have issues with it.
Okay, stay there for a second. Let's go to somebody who is from Ballyfermot. Phyllis, how are you? Your own opinions matter. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm not from Ballyfermot.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No, but I am so happy that went up. Each to their own. We're all God's children. I haven't got much faith, but believe you me, the church has did so much damage, and fair play to that priest that put that up. They have a right to be who they are. No one has the right to tell them not to do this and not to do that. I'm just living at some of the filthy comments. It's just disgusting.
What would you say to people, and in fairness, Padraig is just one of many of these people who has an issue with this flag. What would you say to those people?
I'd say you're an absolute disgrace. Because if you had a child like that, you'd probably whip it trying to think it was going to be straight. So born who they're born, and that's how they are. My children have loads of gay friends. My grandchildren have loads of gay friends. They are human beings. They have a right to their opinion. and the right to be who they are.
You also have to remember, though, Phyllis, during the same-sex marriage referendum, what was it, 38% of our country voted no. That's 38%. Over a third of the country voted no. That's a fairly sizable figure. There's still a lot of people out there who share those views, Padraig's views.
Yeah, well, they seem to forget when they're reading this so-called Bible, what God had around him and he didn't judge. As he says in the Bible, if I'm quoting it right, only he has the right to judge, not anybody else.
Yeah, and that's what really gets to me is that a lot of people who consider themselves Christians are the most judgmental people you could ever meet. I.e. the people on that Facebook page. So you support the church and you support the people of Ballyfermot who want this flag. Well, a lot of people were getting messages in saying we're going to campaign to get the flag put up again. You'd like to see that flag raised high in the church?
Yeah, very high, very high.
Thanks very much for your call, Phyllis. 085 825 2626 is our WhatsApp number. Katie, there's a lot coming in on WhatsApp, isn't there?
Yeah, there's loads. The reaction is huge, mainly to Padraig. Somebody annoyed here that you cut him off, saying whatever happened to opinions matter. Yes,
and opinions do matter to that person, but they can't go unchallenged. And this is a something that we talk about and we often have to explain on the show. Opinions matter, yes they do, but I'm not going to allow somebody to spread hate, to spread homophobic hate on the show as well. I'm not going to stand by and allow that to happen. So opinions do matter. He was given plenty of airtime with his opinion. What, you just want the Padraig show? Do you want him on for a whole hour just spreading hate against the gay community? No, if you want that, you've got the wrong place. Let's play a couple of WhatsApp voice notes. Here is Kelly.
Yeah, hi Jeremy. I just wanted to say I'm from Ballyfermot, I'm 28, I'm gay and I'm also a Catholic. I was actually walking up the shop on Saturday and there was a protest held by these Bible bashers on the roundabout outside the Assumption. They had all kinds of posters and everything else about purity and everything. I think it was brilliant that we flew the flag coming from Ballyfermot myself. It was great for the church to show their respect and support. I also feel it's disgusting that it's been taken down. But these people are coming from outside Ballyfermot. 85% of the Ballyfermot community have voted for equality, if not more. So I think it's great that you guys are spreading awareness. Keep it up. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Kelly. That was a great message. And you know, I know how difficult it must be listening to opinions like Padraig's and seeing the comments on the Facebook page for that parish church and seeing some of the stuff that people are saying. But as you say, the majority of the community in Ballyfermot do support this. Now, Katie, don't read out this message. Let me just go back to Katie for a sec. A WhatsApp just came in, which I'm not going to read out, but oh my God.
And I've no doubt that person would not come on given the chance.
Yeah, and the person in question that's after sending that message is using language which I thought was long gone, using the F word. But again, hiding behind the phone number, nothing to say, nothing to add to the conversation. Sorry?
I'd read it out.
I won't read. Well, I'll read it.
Yeah,
send it through to me and I'll read it out. But okay. I'm not going to add the word that this particular horrible individual added into it. Okay. And the gas thing about this is, this person probably considers themselves a Christian and they probably go to mass, but this is not a Christian attitude. So he says, I assume it's a fella. He uses the F word to start it off, and he says, F flags have no place on a church, and then he uses the Q word is a form of, and then he goes on about linking it to mental health and all this, and saying it'll be cured by medication. The usual bile that comes out of these absolute idiots. He sent us a message saying, now read it out. I'm only reading part of it out to actually shame you so that you can hear your words back and realise what a pathetic little human being that you actually are. Opinions matter, he finishes off, but only the PC ones. Well, isn't that great that you're able to sit behind the little comfort of your phone? You haven't even got the guts to send in a voice note. You had to do it by text message because you didn't have the guts to let people hear your disgusting voice spewing absolute bile out of you. I feel, you know what, and I'm not actually angry with someone like you. You know why? Because I actually feel more sorry for you than anything else. I feel sorry for you because I would hate to have that much hate inside me. I just couldn't live with myself. Like, you're sitting at home so worked up over a simple flag and so much full of that hate that must be difficult every day, living with that hate. Anyway, get back under your rock. It's 2021. Let's have a listen to what Dave has to say on this.
Oh, lads, you can't help but laugh when, people who talk about peace and love and our religion is one of understanding and acceptance, and then they lose their shit over a rainbow flag. And because the police Pádraig, there are many other animals out there to practice homosexuality, so how is it unnatural if it's found in the natural world, in animals other than human beings?
And in fact, Dave is on the line there. Dave, how are you?
What's the crack?
Grand. You're upset with Pádraig. You're upset with what Pádraig was saying?
Oh, God, no, I wouldn't let anyone like Pádraig ever upset me. I think people like him are funny. We shouldn't get mad at him. We should just laugh at them. That's all you can do with gobshite.
Yeah, I agree with you, but you have to challenge these people as well.
No, you have to challenge them, but I mean, you think about it. Like, I know 33% of the country still voted no for marriage equality, but that kind of an outlook on life is getting smaller and smaller as the years go. I mean, when my kids and your young fella are older, like, that kind of sentiment will be nearly all but gone from this country.
Yeah, my young fella, my eldest is 6 years of age, and he has already seen two men kissing. I think it was on Coronation Street. Actually, he saw it, and again. When he saw it, I was sitting there watching it. Myself and his mother were sitting there watching it with him, and the two men were kissing. I'm nearly sure it was Coronation Street. But he just asked, it was his first time seeing this, and he asked the question, oh, those two men are kissing. And we simply explained to them, yeah, men can have relationships with men, and women can have relationships with women, and men and women can have relationships together. And that was it. He said, okay, fair enough. And I believe that anyone who has homophobic attitudes and tendencies, they are picking it up from the parents. That's where they're hearing it from.
No, for sure. It's definitely a learned behaviour. I mean, my partner's cousin is gay as well. And a little fella saw herself and her girlfriend together. He was like, oh, they're two girls. We're like, yeah. He goes, oh, okay. Children aren't bothered by these things. We don't like...
They don't care. They absolutely don't care. No child... and I've heard this expression many times. No child is born with hate inside them. No child just comes out of the womb hating anybody. Hate is instilled in children normally by parents or by people within their family circle.
No, it is. It's for sure. It's a learned behaviour. I mean, look, people like Pádraig are the same kind of people who wanted SpongeBob SquarePants cancelled because they were scared it was going to turn their kids gay. They're of the mindset that if you show gay people to children will become gay themselves.
Why is this? Is SpongeBob gay? I didn't know that.
I don't know. Do you know what it was? It was part of the gay panic back in the 90s or late 90s, early 2000s. And there were Christian groups in America wanted SpongeBob SquarePants cancelled off TV.
Oh my God.
Because they were worried he was going to turn, their children gay. Now, these are also the same groups.
Hang on, they weren't worried that it was going to turn their child into a sponge that would live under the water. They were more.
No, they were absolutely afraid of their shit that the cartoon sponge was going to turn their kids on.
Oh, sorry, he's gone. Well, to be honest with you, I didn't even know that SpongeBob was gay. So there, you learn things every day. And my son watches SpongeBob. So God, I hope he's not going to be influenced by that. Let me go to Aisling. How are you, Aisling? You're on Opinions Matter.
Good morning. How are things?
I'm a bit annoyed. I'm trying to keep calm and trying to deal with this, but it's just so frustrating, isn't it?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Well, do you know what? What I had just wrote was the one line. It was like, what I find is Catholics are the worst type of Christians, to be honest. I just find that they have such opinions that they think they're right. Do you know what I mean? A Christian person is supposed to be just a nice person, do good.
Yeah, I mean when you look up my opinion on Christian is someone that is accepting and that will help other people and that won't judge other people.
Exactly.
And that's my idea of a Christian. But these people aren't Christians.
No, that's what I'm saying. The Catholics, they put their priests. What they did for years is they put the priests up on pedestals, and the priest was the god, who was absolutely amazing. What he said went. And nowadays, some of the priests are coming out with more liberal views and everything.
Yep.
And they just, the Catholic people just can't, a lot of them can't accept it. Now, obviously, a lot of us can, but I mean, we're supposed to be a Catholic country, but I just don't think we're a very Christian country sometimes. I've seen it. They're all sitting in their groups. I remember from years ago when my mother used to go down to church all the time, and you'd go down, and they'd spend most of their time bitching and giving out about everybody. And I used to say, God, this is the most un-Christian place you could ever be.
Okay, let me read out a message that just came in from Adina on our Facebook page, and I'll put this to you, Aisling. She says, you've no right to change or manipulate people's religious views, even in 2021. They can maintain the right to keep their religious principles and beliefs regardless of what year we are in. In other words, what Adina is saying is, if someone is a fundamental Christian and they believe every word of the Bible and they believe that homosexuality is wrong, who are we to try and make them change their mind or believe otherwise? And by the way, I don't have an issue if someone is very, very religious and they believe that homosexuality is a sin. If they believe that, I don't have a problem with them believing that if they want to believe it in their own in their own house, in their own head. Yes.
You don't have to. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, as the show says. Opinions matter, or whatever. But I mean, you don't have to live and let live. So what? There's a flag up, big deal. I mean, it's wonderful to see flags everywhere. It's great to see. People coming into this century, and you can have your opinions, but you don't need to go to the extreme of trying to get the flag taken down and holding protests and things like that. I mean, there's absolutely no need for that. Just get on with it. It's like, when you're strolling through Facebook and you see this comment or you see something, you don't like it, as they say, scroll on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that text message that came in a few minutes ago, but I wouldn't even read out all of it, was just absolutely disgusting. And I'm sure you can imagine the language that was. Oh,
I absolutely know the language. But that's just people acting, trying to act, some of that as well is people trying to entice hatred and just try to cause a bit of trouble and stuff like that as well. They just haven't got a clue. As I said, it's Christian and Catholic. They're totally different things, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the United States and the problems that religion has brought into the United States, and you look at the fundamental Christians in the United States, and I'm talking about that family that are the anti-gay family. I won't even call them by their name, but you look at a family who picket gay funerals and all that. And they would consider themselves the most Christian. We've interviewed them on past shows, and they are the most screwed up family ever. The Phelps family is what they're called. And if you were to talk to them now, they would consider themselves the most Christian people ever. Yet they will go to the funeral of a gay person and stand there holding disgusting signs, and they don't even see how they're doing something wrong. They don't even see the double standards that they're considering themselves Christian, but their attitude is completely un-Christian.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But, it's just, you can see, I remember I was reading this thing as well before 9 hour, was a photograph of a guy tattooed from head to foot. And they were saying, he was more Christian than, the people that went to church. I can't remember the actual saying, but he was more Christian than the people that went to church every Sunday and sat down there. Look, we know ourselves, the people that go, a lot of people that go to church, really believe that they are right all the time and that theirs is the only religion. I mean, this country is just, sometimes it's so backward and go forward. Yep. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. And Niall just made a very cool, and thanks very much for your call, Aisling. Let me finish off with Niall's comment. And Niall just said on our Facebook page, and this kind of sums up the chat we've been having. Niall says, Christ would be disgusted at the protesters, not at the LGBT plus flag.